For me, Freemasonry is a combination of three things.
Those basic principles we say are brotherly love, relief and truth. Tolerance, community, brotherhood.
Brotherly love is fellowship and fraternity.
Just getting on with your fellow man, treating them with respect. Relief is essentially about charity. After the national lottery, we give the most to charity in this country.
My lodge in Middlesex bought a lifeboat for £18,000.
Charity in all its widest forms, not just giving money, but giving of time and talents.
And truth is very much about how you live your life and your moral values.
Freemasonry is all about making good men better. We have these ceremonies which we carry out in our meetings, and these ceremonies have an emphasis on morality and integrity.
I'm often asked about religion, particularly, is Freemasonry a religion?
Freemasonry is not a religion. To become a Freemason, you need to have a belief in a supreme being or God. Yes, and that's historical. In the 16th century, 17th century, a good person was a God-fearing person.
The great source of allegory in those days, and everything was taught by means of allegory and symbolism, was the Bible. The only building that was described in any detail in the Bible was King Solomon's temple. So they used that as their central allegory of building, trying to build in the world the ultimate temple for the good of the community in general.
It never has been a religion. We would never wish it to be. It's very supportive of the basic good qualities of all religions across the world.
For some people, it's a prop, or it's a reminder about how they should live their lives.
The driving force behind this, and what we're really getting, is you have to believe in someone, a higher self.
Through the Masonic ceremonial, they're reminded about moral issues.
If you're entirely materialistic and you only think of your own interests and you don't care about other people, then you're not for Freemasonry.
It's the administrative centre for the United Lodge of England.
The building that we're in now, Freemasons' Hall, was built as a memorial to all those Masons who died in the First World War fighting for their country.
One of the first things that happened when the communists took over in Russia, when Mussolini took over in Italy, Franco in Spain, Hitler in Germany, was that Freemasonry was closed down. All sorts of reporting stopped. After the war, when everybody tried to get back to some sort of normality, we stuck in that position. And there was a very definite policy in the 1950s and 60s that we didn't communicate with the media.
But Freemasonry, up to the mid to late 30s, was very open. Everybody knew who the Freemasons were. They were the pillars of the community.
Largely, it was because we didn't communicate. We didn't correct things when they got wrong, and Freemasonry became far too inward-looking. 98%
of the myths are entirely wrong, and the other 2%, I have to say, has just been plain misinformed.
And they only had a prejudice because they'd never really spoken to Freemasons about Freemasonry.
People have, like most things, if you don't understand it, you're going to try and make something out of it that it's not.
In the past, we've been phoned up to go on to those, like a programme like Kilroy. You know, they would like 2 Freemasons to go on there as Freemasons. And I say, no, we won't go on there as Freemasons. We might go on there as a plumber, or as plumbers, or electricians, or carpenters, but not as Freemasons. Because if they went on there as Freemasons and they expressed an opinion about a social issue, then people would perceive that to be the position of the Freemasons on that issue. And we don't get involved in politics, social issues, religion, anything like that.
I think people's attitude towards Freemasonry has changed very much since the 80s, because in the 1980s we opened the doors.
Opening up has been enormously powerful in helping us with our soft PR.
Gradually, people from the outside realised that they could come into the building.
It's a film designer's paradise.
Obviously, Spooks, the very first episode, the very first scenes here. Obviously, we've become synonymous with the programme. From Johnny English, The Lost World, Basic Instinct 2. Shanghai starring John Cusack, The Green Zone with Matt Damon, and Sherlock starring Robert Downey Jr. directed by Guy Ritchie. So we've been very, very lucky in what we've got.
We are now having this open communication, talking about our Freemasonry, to anyone who wishes to hear about it and to anyone who's interested.
We would like Freemasonry to be back where it was before the Second World War, an important and valued part of the community, and visible as a valid part of the community.